Over to Peter now, who will introduce the report, as Pam said, one of the co-authors of the report, and we'll go through its recommendations. Thank you, Peter.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you, Selina. And so this report, authored by Fred Manson, Pam and myself, and supported by the GLA team, looked at public space in London and what we need to be doing in the future. And of course, as everyone is aware, both Ken Livingstone and Boris Johnson took a strategic role in protecting and nurturing London's public realm and building a consensus around the design and development of new and improved public spaces. And we feel it is essential that the next mayor continues to champion public space as a key part of that glue that holds the city together. And of course, over the last 15 years, there has been a major programme of public space improvements implemented by the GLA, TfL, boroughs, private developers, and by local groups. And some 250 of them have been delivered around London with the support of the mayor. So today our understanding of public realm is much broader than it was when the World Squares for All project triggered a renaissance in thinking about public space in London. Well, we had three key strands of our report. The first was how we build an alliance of public, private and local interests. And in many places, large-scale urban changes presenting some very real technical, logistical and environmental challenges. And this report sets out how the city might respond to those changes and reap the benefits. And we feel the benefits are great. Economic benefits about direct and indirect employment, inward investment, business location, attraction of workforce, uplift in property and rental values, and visitor, worker and resident spending. There are environmental benefits, improving air quality, reducing pollution, cooling urban heat islands, increasing biodiversity and wildlife habitats. There are social and cultural benefits, civic identity, confidence, greater sense of place and belonging, greater social and cultural use, community cohesion, improved health and well-being. What's not to like? The way public schemes are funded has also changed in recent years, and this is a result of both reduced public sector budgets and a greater involvement of the private sector, especially in key areas of urban regeneration. It's unlikely that this trend will reverse in the foreseeable future. So the mayor must ensure that access to privately owned public space is as unrestricted as and unambiguous as possible and can accommodate different people from all walks of life. This is becoming increasingly important with the private sector both delivering and managing these spaces. So our report recommends that there should be a public realm task force for London, including leaders from the boroughs, businesses, welfare sector, cultural organisations, amenity groups and design practitioners to inform future policy and investment and provide advocacy at the highest level. We also think that we need better support for good planning, urban design and place-shaping skills in London's local authorities, and there is a further report about to come out as a part of the Good Growth Agenda entitled Shaping London, which will have some ideas of how we actually deliver that. We need to encourage the industry in boroughs to support meanwhile uses and improve the management of construction in areas of change while we have so much of the city dealing with heavy construction taking place. We need to influence the design and management of indoor as well as outdoor public spaces in new developments to ensure that these are clearly signposted, welcoming and truly inclusive. And then we need to develop policies on activities in public spaces that they need to be controlled in a transparent and democratically accountable way, possibly through the use of local bylaws. Then we look at optimising place and movement. And it's a key aspect of the way that we feel we need to look at public spaces. We retain the character of place, and through that we deliver the sorts of work which has been taking place in TfL with the street types for London. TfL have made great strides in reconciling thinking on place and movement, and you can see quite a lot of work on that in the exhibition upstairs with the Street Types programme. And for the first time, TfL and the boroughs have worked together to consistently map and to complete a highway network using data and local knowledge, providing an innovative framework to balance place and movement on a pan-London scale. Other issues about optimising place movement is, of course, the benefits of public health. Responsibilities for public health moved to local authorities in 2013, and this has really focused the minds of authorities on well-being generally. And there are, of course, mounting concerns of high levels of obesity, the impact of air pollution, and there is a clear understanding of the vital role that walking and cycling play in keeping London in good health, and the need for increases in both as we face the range of serious illnesses which are delivered by inactivity. London's economic success relies as much on the movement of people as on safe and efficient delivery and collection of goods and services. And road is by far the dominant mode for goods transport in London, and the planned growth will lead to a 15% increase in demand for freight and servicing by 2025. So we need to look at better ways of delivering goods within the city, and looking at such things as smart technology to improve the efficiency of surface transport. So here we had a number of recommendations that we need in London to assert the concept of street types for London and launch a comprehensive programme of pilot projects to help local authorities deliver a cohesive vision on the balance of place and movement. We need to establish, and I think this is very important, an active travel commissioner to bring public transport, walking and cycling together to create high-quality public realm and improve transport and health, to take a holistic view of the use of our streets. And we need to champion smarter use of streets and seriously consider a single system for road charging. Then our third strand was supporting investment and design a public realm in key areas. And we feel that the Mayor needs to continue to invest in high streets. You see the top left-hand image, where there is most potential to enhance all Londoners' quality of daily life. But this is probably more important in outer London and supporting the economies of those areas. And also a priority for the next mayor will be to focus not just on outer London, but on new models and approaches to the expanding centre. If you look at the inner ring road, as well as taking into account maybe slightly further afield, places like Wandsworth and Shepherd's Bush Gerateries, many of London's new large-scale redevelopments are taking place in these areas at rapid pace and contributing to the de facto expansion of the central area. So it's key that we invest in public realm of these new central and inner London neighbourhoods where the tension between place and movement is at its most acute and development is at its most dense. We need to invest in the public realm around new transport infrastructure, where there are major benefits to be gained by designing interchanges integrated with the grain of local areas where the highest densities and development are likely. And of course, down the bottom right-hand corner, you have the All London Green Grid policy, which has been a key policy of both mayors, and we feel it is essential that new mayors continue pressing for the delivery of green and blue spaces. A green infrastructure is essential for the sustainability of the city. And before I end and pass over to our panel for discussion, I just wanted to remind ourselves of the significant changes that have taken place over the last decade or so in our thinking about public space in London. And one does need to remind yourself, because you get used to these places and you don't realise quite the hard effort that went into actually getting them there in the first place. So Trafalgar Square, an amazing transformation of a really horrible piece of road. And Kensington High Street, and I would again mention the name Daniel Moylan, who was instrumental in decluttering this to actually create personal risk to himself, and really changing attitudes to the way we dealt with key high street locations. Dalston Square, another regeneration project which made public space a key part of the improvements, and another Daniel Moylan scheme, which is the shared space on Exhibition Road, which was completed in time for the Olympics. The Great Estates have also been key to delivering better public space. This is Mount Street, delivered by Grosvenor Estate. And then out at Barking, improvements there and outer London. And of course, right in the centre again, here we have Oxford Circus, a radical improvement to one of the nastiest pieces of a really important part of London. And internal spaces, there are a growing number of public-private internal spaces, and this is of course King's Place up at King's Cross. Improvement of green spaces across London has happened, from the Olympics through to Pocket Park, through the city. King's Cross, Granary Square, a very well managed, very popular new piece of city, and then other new improvements to come here at Elephant and Castle, work just about completed there. The Cycle Super, these are Mini Hollands. Mini Hollands, this is Walthamstow, where not only is cycling improving the transport, it is also improving the quality of place. And then Old Street Roundabout, which will soon look like this. Elephant Square and Elephant and Castle, part of the improvements there. And of course, right next door, we have the improvements that will come with the opening of Crossrail and the improvement of the underground station, and the getting rid of the gyratory in the area where Tottenham Court Road and Gower Street will be much improved places by the new infrastructure that is taking place. So these are huge changes that have happened over the last few years and in the plan for the next few years, but we need to make sure that the next mayor really takes on board the sorts of recommendations that we've put forward in our report. Thank you very much.